would have children that wouldn't question, and then our grandchildren wouldn't question at all.
Mm-hmm. The third generation.
The third generation would just receive any kind of order or word from God.
They wouldn't resist the apostle?
There'd be absolutely no resistance at all. They would do whatever. Just reason would be totally done away with. Kind of like in the book 1984, what they were trying to establish.
What happens when Spriggs dies?
They will really have a power struggle. There'll be a whole bunch of people trying to take over, and they'll fall. They'll probably turn into different little sections. Certain people will go off and follow one leader, and certain people will go off. They may hold together for a little bit because, really,
if Marcia's still alive,
that's what I was going to say.
They'll stay just like they are.
The other Spriggs is really the leader of the group.
His wife.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, how's the president and Bill? How you doing? You know.
Yeah. How's the president and her husband? That's
she really is the power behind
it. They dress the way they do because she designed it.
Mm-hmm.
They eat the way they do because years ago Marcia tried to influence us in it. When she first became a quote unquote Christian, she got into a religious book and found what she wanted to be, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist. They didn't eat meat. Most of them didn't eat meat. They
worshipped on the Sabbath.
Worshipped on the Sabbath, all that. Now you look at the community and look what they've become. That's Marcia's influence. Gene loves meat, chocolate, and coffee.
It's ironic, though, then, that women would be so put down in the group or held down if she's really calling the shots. What do you think?
Well,
what they say is not what they do.
Yeah.
So, like a woman who is, as we brought up before with Mrs. Swanko, who's a benefit to the community, she's allowed in.
Because she has a law degree.
Right. And I'm sure if a female doctor came in, she would pull a lot of weight too. And
because that's something they need.
Yeah, they need that. Or someone who's very rich. A woman who was very rich came into the community. I'm sure she would be on up there too.
Did either of you or both of you ever take part in hiding people or moving people across the borders or so on? Is that part of the...
There were numerous, we were talking about this not long ago, and numerous occasions where that happened. And I know I took my daughter when she was young. I took her out of the country to get her away from her mother, because as a community member, I didn't want my daughter living with a non-community member. And
so even a biological parent, if they're not in the community, they have no standing in
right.
the community's eyes.
They have no worth in the community's eyes.
Why, the community goes to a lot of rock concerts too, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Fish and so on, and the Grateful Dead. Why? What's that all about?
Those kids are searching, just like we did. That's where I was found, was at a rock concert. His ex-wife gave me probably 10 different papers before I finally moved in the community and read one of them. And that's
But they approached you at a rock concert.
Oh yeah.
And what would the approach have been? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. Deb walked up. I was doing LSD, and she handed me a free paper. It says, "Jesus loves you." And then I ran into her the next day down on the street in Chattanooga. And I ran into her outside of a head shop in another part of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And finally I read the paper. And it was radical. It was unique.
And hard to understand.
Very hard to understand.
So that intrigued you.
So yeah.
But you were looking. You were looking.
Oh yeah, I was definitely searching. I used to ride my motorcycle up on the mountain and just sit and watch the sunset and ask God, why are people starving in East Pakistan and India? And my hardest decision is whether I want steak and eggs this morning for breakfast or waffles or whatever.
So the meaning of life, that was important to you.
Oh yeah, I think those are some of the most important questions you can ask is, why are we here? How did we get here?
More specifics about the Wooten case? Do you want that?
No, unless you know more about the Wooten
Do you
case.
know anything more about the Wooten case, about the
Just
movement?
that about my daughter.
Yeah.
Seeing them together.
Did I say that on camera?